I might be live. This might be working. This is very exciting for everybody involved. Good morning, Marcy. Oh, holy crap! Someone can see me. Welcome to the Unnamed Studios. This is what's going on right now. There are some boxes for you. I found my webcam. That's the big news of the morning. Hi, Deidre. Good to see you. I've missed you guys. I'm just saying that because it's true. The webcam is not aimed properly. You know what? We're going to deal with it. I'm a confined space right now. This is what happens when they pick you up for rioting on 1/6. And I can't get my chair out of the back of my slipper. The wheel of my chair is stuck in the back of my slipper, and I can't move. I'm trapped. This is the wall. Right here. There's a box there. There's a box there. There are multiple boxes here. This is. Okay, so we're gonna make this work anyway. Hi, Lizzie. Good to see. I'm a bit choppy. Oh, the feed is not great. Oh God. We're dying here. We're dying a slow death. Dag nabbit. We're dropping half of our frames. I don't know. I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna. Is that duct tape on my hoodie? No. Right here. Hold on. Yeah, I have a stain on my hoodie. This is from, I think, a name tag, like a "Hello, my name is" that never came off. So we'll, let's see. What are we up to now? We're up to 53%. We are dropping a bunch of frames here, guys. And even YouTube. So I have different Wi-Fis. We're in a temporary situation here. There's a lot going on. Producer Jojo's trying to find a house where theoretically there would be another studios for me. Maybe not. This is all in flux right now, and apparently the internet here is also in flux. I have been trying out T-Mobile's wireless T-Mobile at home over the 5G system. And so far this morning, not impressed with it. We're dropping more than 55% of our frames. Let me just do a quick speed test. We shouldn't be, by the way, when you do your speed test. Let's do it together. We should be getting all kinds of feed here. Let's see what happens when we do speed test this morning. What I have noticed is that it comes and goes. And I thought, well, no, okay. That's not the right website. So hold on. Speedtest.net is where we want to go. There's speedtest.net. So this should be coming up with ads and stuff right now, and it's not. Good morning, Jojo. I was just telling the kids here that we're in a temporary holding pattern here in the Unknown Studios. The internet here is now dropping 57% of its frames. Let's just do a test and see what kind of throughput. Download speeds have been just fine. Yeah, so we're talking 75, 80, 90, 100 megabytes per second and on the way up. Download speeds looking great. Let's see what the upload speeds look like. So that's fantastic. So in terms of download on T-Mobile, looking great. Upload, 20. We should not be dropping any frames. I am not sure what's going on then. Because the software says already we're climbing upwards again. We're now at 58. So I apologize. We won't spend too long on it today. I'll see if there's anything I can do to fix it. Fast.com is another site that Netflix owns. That's Speed Test that we just saw. Fast.com is a site that Netflix owns, and this is more of a truer figure of what you're actually getting in terms of download, but it doesn't do upload. But here we see in download, we're getting somewhere between 60 and 90 megabits. Hi, Stephanie. So I don't know if this is watchable, guys. You guys are hanging around. At least you can chat with each other. So, all right. On the hood part, have I got duct tape? Hold on. Maybe? No. That's a totem. Hold on. This is a Seattle hockey team before the Kraken. I used to be the play-by-play, and my son played for it. There it is. There's your totem right there. When I first set up this morning, I was getting... the microphone wasn't working, but I found my webcam. I've got my microphone. It seems to be working. Now we just have to actually do a broadcast. I don't know how long we'll keep going here. If it gets bad, Stephanie says it's buffering. Sorry, guys. Like I said, this seems to be the internet, at least in terms of throughput, seems to be quite happy. Yeah, Jojo says she's right next to the studios and it keeps cutting in and out. Well, that's because it's going out to the internet and then coming back to your phone. It's not... You're not actually getting direct feed from the studio. You know what? You could just open the door and sit there, and then you would be seeing more of the broadcast, but you wouldn't be able to hear anything but me, so don't do that. We're almost at 60% in terms of dropped frames. Let me see if there's anything I can do in settings to change it. Give me a second here, guys. Looking at the settings, I'll show you guys as well, just in case anybody's watching this and is interested. Let's go to our output. Streaming, let's bring the streaming bitrate way down to 1000. I don't know if this can even do this. 2 is low for keyframe. Preset quality. Let's go... I don't know if max quality or performance is better. Low latency performance? Let's go way down. I don't know. So low latency performance. I don't know. Quality? I can't believe my broadcast has ever been set for quality. Low latency quality, max performance. I don't know. I don't know that that's going to make any kind of a difference. Let's hit OK there and see if we cutting our now we're at 60%. If we cut our bit rate down to just a third of what it was, we'll see if that somehow affects things. And we just went from 60.4% of dropped frames to 60.5. It just keeps dropping frames. I don't know, guys. So if you feel like dropping out, go ahead. I'm just gonna watch a little bit of Fox and Friends. Hi, Libby. I'm just gonna watch a little bit of Fox and Friends and see if it goes through. You guys can drop off if you want to. I'm just gonna watch the frame rate and see if it recovers at some point. Let's go to Fox and Friends here. Where is it? Just see what we should be outraged by today. Cujo says it's better. Marcy says it seems better. Okay, well, we'll give it a shot. We will give it a shot. Let's see what we should be outraged by today. It's been a few days, obviously, since I broadcast, quite a few days, but
big infrastructure bill, the bipartisan one.
We now have an infrastructure bill. Trump spent 4 years talking about Infrastructure Week. Literally did the exact same speech twice in 2017, then again in 2020, claiming that he was going to fix infrastructure and bring highways from 20 years down to 1 year in order to build them. And there wasn't even a single committee hearing on infrastructure. There was never an infrastructure bill under Trump. It was all smoke and mirrors, but literally no smoke and no mirrors. It was just talk. There was no bait and switch. There was no bait. No debate. No committee hearing. Nothing. A bill has to go through committee hearings before it gets to the floor of the House or the Senate in order to be voted upon. There wasn't even a committee hearing. They never even talked about infrastructure under Trump. But here Biden has completed an infrastructure bill, which is going to do roads, bridges, highways, etc., rural broadband, which honestly, I'm in the middle of a city and I can't even get decent broadband. We're still dropping frames. Hopefully, this whole infrastructure bill will fix that. Okay, good. It's running really smooth now. So we're on a low bit rate. The resolution, if you're watching on a giant television, is going to be less than it was at the beginning of the broadcast. But you might be able to watch. So let's just see what else we should be outraged by. By the way, huge win for Biden. Not only did the infrastructure bill pass, the original infrastructure bill, the second bill is more about human infrastructure, is what they're calling it, which is just euphemisms. I don't like it. The second bill is about making America better. Making America not only great again, but better than it ever was. Things like paid family leave and hearing aids for Grandpa. Grandpa, congratulations. The Democrats just passed Medicaid hearing aids for you. What? Let's listen to what we're supposed to be outraged by.
But his poll numbers are in the toilet, and he's going to show people how he and the White House...
So it doesn't matter that we're getting the roads and bridges fixed. You know, the bridges that collapse and kill people. It's all about the poll numbers. 3 years before Biden, and I don't think he's going to run again, 3 years before Biden has a chance to run for election, it's the poll numbers today. The poll numbers, which, by the way, are very similar to what Trump had throughout his presidency.
Are helping people across the country, even though at 8:30 this morning we're going to get...
Holy crap, Cujo, you cut the tip of your finger off? How much of the tip? Say when. Like, that. My mom cut all of this off. And that resulted in the only... I don't know. Hey, guys, I'm married. Check that out. When I was moving, this ring turned up. It's not my ring. I assume it's JoJo's. Anyway, I didn't want it to get lost. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I better put that on my hand, because otherwise it's going to get lost in the boxes somewhere. And no one has noticed that I've been wearing a wedding ring. It's good for auditions, so I might just keep it on. And quite honestly, I tried to take it off last night, and somewhere the vegan pizza that I ate, increased my finger size. So sorry, ladies, he's fake taken. What was I telling you guys about? I don't know. It's early. God damn it. I keep waking up at 5 a.m. Thanks a lot, daylight savings and or real time. I don't even know what we're on. The whole thing is ridiculous. Like, why? Why do we think that we can change time? So dumb. The whole eliminate daylight savings, I'd like eliminate all time. Just wake up when the sun comes up. That's from a boy who grew up in the Yukon.
A big number out a little later on today that shows just exactly how bad inflation is and the forecast.
Yeah, Libby has a wonderful point. The hearing aids thing of Medicaid is a huge deal. Until you need hearing aids, you don't realize that they cost $5,000 or more. $5,000 if you're lucky and you're just getting old by getting old. If there's some kind of hearing damage involved, or Liberty would know. I'm going to use words that I'm going to mispronounce words. Mispronounce words? I don't know. You Americans without your U's, you screw me up. I'm all about you. Marcy says, oh, I'm going to start so many rumors now, i.e. sitting in a tree rumors. I'm married to my boxes is what I'm married to.
Cast is close to...
I don't know. Producer Jojo, if you're listening, can you take a look at Hillary's emails and then let me know, is this yours? Because I found it on the floor during the move. I don't even really know. Check it. Hold on. Maybe I can get it off. I'll deal with that later. But no, guys, I'm not actually married. But I do have, somewhere I have a silver ring that I use when I go on shoots. The funny thing is, when I go on shoots and I'm playing a husband or a dad or whatever, a lot of times the prop people, because this is, believe it or not, this is not costumes. A wedding ring is not costumes, it's props. And a lot of times the prop people don't bring a wedding ring, which they're supposed to. Like, they've all got these little sets of rings and they open it up and then they choose the right size and what they want the band to look like. So in one of my jackets, I have a little wedding ring, which I bring out when I need it. Anyway, there's no story. This is just spilling Covfefe. I'm honestly just happy that we're broadcasting right now with 4 people watching. Actually, it's more than that. But there we go. Oh, there's been a bunch of playbacks, but people have given up, I guess. My stream has not been healthy, and that's nothing new here. But our dropped frame rate has now come down under 50%, so that's good. So maybe I just have to have a really low resolution broadcast. Here we go.
An historic 6%.
Yeah, they say expected to have risen 6% in the month of October, likely to show prices have surged at their fastest pace in 30 years. What are Americans concerned about? They're concerned about inflation. And
Americans are concerned about getting the stuff that they want. And that's always what Americans have been concerned about. Americans are concerned because the demand for everything is way up. Oh, the ports are broken. No, the ports are handling more goods coming into this country than they've ever handled. Couple of big problems. One that doesn't get any airplay whatsoever unless you do some deep reading. And another one that people know about but is easily solved, but we haven't done anything about it until now. One of the big problems is that there's not enough truckers to get the goods to where we need them to be. Not true. There are plenty of truckers if we just fix the infrastructure around loading people up at the ports. You have to drop off containers, you have to pick up containers, you have to make appointments to do that, you have to keep your appointment, you can't just show up and take any old... It's all done in a way that doesn't make a lot of sense because there's just not the infrastructure to support it at the ports. If we were able to cut down 12 minutes of loading time per truck at the ports, you would not need any more truck drivers. We would have plenty of truck drivers. 12 minutes per load, that's it. And that's very doable, but we don't have the infrastructure to support that yet. If only somebody would pass an infrastructure bill. The other big problem is that we don't have enough warehouses. So there's a storage problem once you get the goods to the location to be stored in order to be shipped out to the stores on other trucks. There's just not enough storage space. So containers are being left at the port or on ships or wherever because there's nowhere to put them once you get them to the location. You can't just put all of the Legos into the store. Actually, I don't think there's a shortage of Legos. But there's not enough warehouse space in this country. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is demand has been growing exponentially as the economy has been skyrocketing, and it really has. This is before COVID even. But what happened was Mr. Trump put some tariffs on a lot of building materials. And so there was a shortage of those building materials, and manufacturing in this country of building materials actually went into contraction. Oh, the greatest economy the world has ever known. No, that's complete nonsense. We were in manufacturing contraction. In other words, our manufacturing, instead of going up this way, was going down. Under Trump, before COVID. And then COVID hit and everything just collapsed. But because we had this slowdown, we weren't building enough warehouses to keep up before COVID. And then COVID hit and the steel hit the fan and we just don't have enough warehouse space. Now we're playing hardball to try and catch up just so we have the storage space to put the goods that the truckers are trying to take to the places in order to store, in order to get on the shelves. That being said, I haven't experienced any shortages myself. I have too much crap. Christmas has not been canceled. I've been into stores. There's plenty of stuff on the shelf. The one place I've been where I was surprised by the stuff that's not on the shelves was a dollar store in Seattle. I was like, boy, it doesn't seem to be a lot of stuff here. It's things like Tupperware. Things like Tupperware, typically made here in the States. I don't know. I didn't look where the Tupperware at the dollar store was made. I'm guessing China, maybe Taiwan, wherever it is. Anyway, the world has been kicked in the ass by COVID. That's just one more thing that we need to deal with. But a big problem that we're not talking about is the warehouse space. I'm sure people are talking about it. It's just not sexy. And the reason for the warehouse shortage, number one, consumers want more. Americans are making money more Americans are working now, but this is pre-COVID. This was a problem that was lurking pre-COVID, just like the housing shortage, which I'm now experiencing. Anyway, it's enough about the shortage. Let's see what we're supposed to be outraged by, though. Forget the fact that Trump killed the economy with his stupid tariffs, which, by the way, he made a deal with China, and they're not keeping up their end of the bargain. Surprise. Deidre's dad passed away a year ago today, and I'm sorry, Deidre. I can't imagine. I've lost my mother. I haven't lost my father. He's been a rock for, well, almost my entire life. And I my deepest sympathies to you. Coming up on Remembrance Day tomorrow, so that'll be a day to you should be reminded of that day for the rest of your days. And it's a good time to reflect. We've talked about losing fathers, about losing parents before in the broadcast. So all my thoughts will be with you today, Deidre. I get 3 thoughts a day, and you can have 2 of them.
The economy.
Yeah, and the supply chain, even though we're too dumb to understand how supply chains work,
I just explained supply chains to you. But it's true, though. Brian just said it. Everybody on that couch is too dumb to understand how supplies... He said it!
Have risen 6% in the month of October, likely to show prices have surged at their fastest pace in 30 years. What are Americans concerned about? They're concerned about inflation and the economy.
Yeah, and the supply chain, even though we're too dumb to understand how supply chains work, I wish the president would talk slower to us. But I just know this, the shelves are empty, the barges are full, and so are the ports of ships. And now they say, well, now we do unload the ships and we have with containers, we have nowhere to put them. So now we're going to find a place to do that because we're 60 to 80,000 truck drivers down. But the president says everything's going just fine, which is something you're not buying. Look at...
I just told you how to fix that. Fix the infrastructure at the ports and you wouldn't be 60 to 80,000 truck drivers down.
Some of the things...
By the way, that problem will be fixed in the next few years with automated trucking. They're already on the road. If you live in Florida, if you live in parts of Arizona, there are trucks right now driving around without people driving them. It's happening already. They're on the road.
Are affecting your lives. Like inflation, these products are so commonplace, it's hard to go any...
Those pictures of the port of Los Angeles, it's always like that. There are always multiple containers piled up at the ports. That's the way ports work. Many of those containers are empty, waiting to be put back onto ships to be sent away across the planet. Noteworthy brands hiking prices. Del Monte, Kraft Heinz, IKEA, Mondelez. I don't know this brand, but they're international. And Procter & Gamble. So one thing that has affected me is my salads. I buy baked salads and then I mix them. I pimp them up. That's one of the ways I've lost weight. I try and eat at least a salad a day. Those have gone from $2.50 to now $3.50. They went up to $3 for a while, and then they were back to $2.50, or maybe they were always $2. No. Sorry, they've gone from $2.99 up to $3.50.
Anywhere in this country.
But then they went back to $2 for $6, and now they're back at $3.50, $3.49. So they've gone up 50 cents. But again, and for those of you, oh, by the way, if you're trying to buy a car right now, not a good time. But there are specific shortages. There's reasons for the chip shortage to make the new cars, and the new cars not being available, that bumps up the price of the used cars. That being said, I keep driving by used car lots, and there's lots of cars. Wait, did someone explain where this ring on my hand came from? If you like it, then you better put a ring on it. If you like it, then you bet.
And say it doesn't affect me. Del Monte sauce. My mom would not make sauce
tomato
products without Del Monte. She was brand oriented. Kraft Heinz, IKEA.
His mom was brand oriented. What a surprise! Those unnamed canned tomatoes were not good enough for my mother. You realize what a heretical statement that is for someone of Italian heritage? To be saying my mom would not make tomato sauce without canned tomatoes? You know there's real tomatoes available.
Procter & Gamble products, they just make just about everything.
Yeah, from our toothpaste to our cleaning products, the list goes on. And they're also calling it meatflation. Did y'all read that this morning?
Oh,
because all of our meats have gone up. Bone and ribeyes have doubled since last November. Last November, you paid $8.71 per pound. This year, you're going to pay $16.99 per pound.
Yeah, that's demand.
Bacon, beef chuck, steaks, highest price in a decade.
Demand causes the cost of everything to go up. Demand causes the cost of the gas to go up to take the meat to the place. Truckers are able to demand more because there's a shortage of truckers because of the infrastructure. And you have what's called the Great Resignation, with people leaving their jobs. After COVID, so many people were out of work for a little while that they kind of realized, what I do sucks, and I don't get paid enough to do it. There was an article in the Business Insider this morning about a gentleman who figured, you know what? I'm going to staff properly and pay my people properly, and he does not have a worker shortage. Some days he has a few extra people on the job. He's more people than he needs. And you know what? He figures out things for them to do. And he does not have a shortage of workers. Pay your workers properly. There are people out there making $2 an hour. It depends on the state, but there's ways to make it happen. Libby says it's almost impossible to buy a used car in Connecticut. And I realize a lot of these problems are regionally based. But let's just take a look, Libby. It depends. What kind of car do you want to buy? Libby, what's your commute like?
And meat packers are blaming this on the supply.
Let's look. So we have a real-time situation. Libby says she can't find a car in Connecticut. Give me a zip code near you. You don't have to tell me where you live, Libby, but give me a zip code somewhere around you, and we'll see if we can't find you a used car.
Supply chain crunches and staff shortages. They have to pay people $20 an hour now.
Well, one of
yes, today I'm in L.A., Stephanie.
the interesting things about, since Joe Biden's going to the port of Baltimore, he should know this. If he's watching, good morning, Mr. President. One of the problems right now is the...
If he's watching, you're thinking of Trump. Marcy says they have tons of used cars in Hawaii because people move a lot. They do. I was looking at how much it costs to ship a car to Hawaii from Long Beach, from the port in Los Angeles, Long Beach. How much it costs to ship a car rather than buying a car in Hawaii. Then I was looking at used cars in Hawaii. They're actually fairly reasonable. And very few of them have high mileage because where are you going to go? Nobody takes a road trip in Hawaii. Guess how much it costs to ship a car, a standard sedan, from Long Beach to Kauai. Guys, take a guess without looking it up.
The ports are congested. The big shipping container companies, we get everything over here from over there, those things. What is happening right now is because the shipping companies know that it's much more lucrative to bring stuff from China to the United States. So,
Marcy, you're good. It's actually $1,700. $1,700 to ship a car from Long Beach to Kauai. It may be $1,500 to get it to where Marcy lives on the Big Island. Libby says, Kevin, that's me. I went from working in hospital to case management at home. Now, when I cannot work from home, I am not going back. Yeah, that's a ton of people. About 25% is the estimate. It varies, of course, by region, by profession, etc. 25% of the people are like, I don't want to have to commute to work. I got my life back. And when you do the math on commutes, the world is changing. That's a lot of time in traffic or on the subway that you're just not going to get back. Libby says, I don't commute and I'm not looking for a car. Okay. Well, then we're moving on with our lives. If anyone has some first-person problems, let's try and solve them.
they're not doing they're not doing as many contracts from the United States shipping the meat overseas. And so, in other words, the meat packers are having they're in a pickle, which also are up about 25%.
Was there no better metaphor that you could come up with the meat packers than pickle?
They're in a pickle over trying to get stuff from the United States over there. And that's one of the reasons why, Ainsley, you're absolutely right. It will never in history have cost as much to put a bone-in rib roast on your Christmas table. Steaks are $1 a pound more for the strip steaks.
Yeah, well, prices keep going up. Used to be 5 cents a pound to buy bone-in rib. I don't know what that cut is, and I don't think it was ever 5 cents.
And I saw that I looked at a chart, and bacon is $2 a pound more than it was last year. I went and bought my beloved cream of mushroom soup yesterday. My jaw dropped. It was $2 a can.
Wow.
I don't know that it is ever a can of Campbell's soup. $2 a can.
You're smart
Put it on
to shop
layaway.
early.
Just pay it a little bit every month and then pick it up at the end of the
Christmas
week.
Club.
You're smart.
You don't have to put. Remember how? Now I forget his name, but he came on TV with soup cans saying that Americans might be paying more for soup, but that's okay. Now that we are paying more for, the outrage over a Campbell's soup. What was his face? Trump's economics guy. Remember he brought out the soup cans, and then there was the soda, the aluminum.
To shop
I can see him. I'm just so bad with names.
early because
6 cents per can.
it's about to hit our Thanksgiving.
Let's find out. Let's research this together. Trump economic advisor, soup cans, defends tariffs on the can of soup, and it's what's his face? This is it's Wilbur Ross is his name, by the way. This is from March 2nd of 2018. Tariffs will make cans more expensive, so the price of soup is going to go up. And then what's his face came up. Wilbur Ross came on TV and said, "No, Americans won't care if soup is more expensive. It's no big deal."
Thanksgiving tables.
Yep.
In 2 weeks, we have Thanksgiving. And look at what we're experiencing shortage-wise. There isn't enough turkey out there. Cranberry sauce.
I was in the store yesterday. I was in Ralph's right over here. And they were using extra freezer space for the turkeys. They have so many turkeys. Now, it's before Thanksgiving. I'm sure they're not selling a lot of turkeys right now. But there are turkeys available. And when I looked at how much the cost of turkeys was, and this is, by the way, I grew up in Canada, and we always got free turkeys for Thanksgiving when you spent like $50 or $100, which is the equivalent of about 38 cents American. We always just got free turkeys, I think, growing up. I remember that at the Safeway up in Canada and the co-op. I don't know how much turkey cost before. I don't know how much turkey costs now, but it didn't seem to be too expensive, so I don't know. What I do know is that we do not eat enough turkey. As a country, we only eat turkey on Thanksgiving. Some of us eat turkey at Christmas. Turkey is one of the healthiest meats and poultries for you if you have to eat that. I love Thanksgiving because then I can eat turkey for like 2 weeks afterwards. We do eat a lot of turkey in the form of processed meat, which maybe not be the best meat for you. But if you get salami, a lot of times it's made out of turkey. There is turkey bacon, which, quite frankly, people should be facing the death penalty.
Yams, sweet potatoes, and the refrigerated pies.
Do you think that maybe the president will not pardon the turkey since we're so short and we'll have to sacrifice
we need
it?
those two.
Oh, we
We need those
them.
two, don't we?
Yeah, the Johnsons and the Donovans.
They never eat those turkeys.
Right.
They release them into the wild or a
No, they go to a farm.
kid's zoo or something like that.
So one administration's turkeys meets with the other, or do they keep them separate?
Wherever they release them, just go there and grab them.
Sure. Turkeys are
So kill the pardoned turkeys is what they're saying this year. That's how desperate they are. That's kind of almost funny in a way.
60% sold out.
know, I
That's
saw
the problem.
that.
I was at the
And that was
grocery
in
store
October.
buying the expensive soup yesterday, and Bob, the butcher, said, "Hey, pick up your turkey now." But the problem is, who has room for a 16-pound turkey right now?
freezer.
Unless you're one of the people who bought the big freezer last year, and a lot of people did. That's one of the reasons why there were meat shortages. People were hoarding stuff. Unless you can buy it right now, you might not.
Yeah, at random is correct. Turkey sausage is awesome and like a quarter of the calories. That is correct. And it's, sausage, because sausage can be anything, you put the right spices into it, and turkey is absolutely fantastic. Winco here in Salem, Oregon gives you a free turkey for spending over $100. Yeah, so the turkeys are literally free. Is that still going on this year, Lizzie? People don't buy turkey frozen. You can buy ahead. No? Yeah, but you got to store the turkey. Because I did look at the turkey yesterday at Ralph's, and the turkey was taking up a whole bunch of other space in the freezers. So, you've got your freezers and you've got your pizza and you've got your pizza pockets, and then under there you've got another shelf. The bottom shelf of one row at Ralph's, about half of the aisle was just turkeys in the bottom section. And I saw a price tag that said $4.99, and I'm like, turkeys for $4.99? Why is everyone complaining? And then I realized, oh no, they don't belong there. They've moved all the other stuff, and the turkeys are just waiting there to be purchased. Todd Stubler says, good morning, Todd. When we still had the farm, Disneyland had several of the pardoned turkeys. I didn't know that. A turkey is $20 to $30. At Random said the pardoned turkeys used to go to a petting zoo farm right by my sister's house. They usually died pretty quickly because so fattened up. Oh, why? Why do you ruin everything at Random? Lizzie says, I like turkey bacon. Quite honestly, so do I. But it is blasphemy. I have never eaten bacon in my life. It freaks me out, the smell. Libby, that explains everything we need to know about the anger issues you have.
I'd have one.
And you put it in a relative.
Wait, did I say Liberty or Libby or Lizzie on that? That was Libby, who's never eaten bacon before. Somebody, if you're a moderator, go ahead and block her. Because she's up to no good, obviously.
Freezer, or you put it in a neighbor's.
My ex-wife became a semi-vegetarian later in life, but the one thing she would still eat was bacon. Lizzie says, not long COVID, skin issue since July, getting worse, beginning to... Oh, okay, so that's something about health issues that we don't need to be involved in at this point in time. Libby says, big freezers are effing amazing. The judges haven't figured out where the new studio is yet, so if they were here, I'm sure they would ring a bell.
Freezers,
if you're that lucky.
I don't know if I'm buying the butcher story. Everyone knows Sam is the name of the butcher. I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't need the judges because I have more cowbell. So that's the judges for today.
You have Bob?
Sam was from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, he
Remember,
dated
he was
Alice.
dating Alice. Yeah.
They never got married.
We only got we did not. Was that on ABC?
I don't remember
I'm
what
not sure.
network
It was always in syndication.
Where I lived in.
I think the Brady Bunch was on ABC, but I never watched it. And I didn't live here in the States at the time. So I don't know why we're discussing this. Again, this is Spilling Covfefe. There's no agenda here.
The country, we only got CBS. I don't know any shows from the 60s
that true?
or 70s.
Really? You
Brenda
never
told
watched
us
When the
Brady
phone
Bunch?
rang, you had to climb the pole?
We only could see WIBW, which was the CBS affiliate out of Topeka. I have no idea who was on NBC
So
or
what was
ABC.
on your channel? What'd you grow up watching?
Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
and Walter Cronkite. That's all you need.
That's all
The
I
fake
needed.
news and the real
Hello.
news. We should have got you some tinfoil and got you CBS and NBC.
who were we
That would have
getting?
been UHF. There were no UHF stations in Kansas
Right.
back then.
I was surprised UHF didn't take off. I think it's going to make a comeback.
I am amazed that Kansas was not full of UHF stations broadcasting religious programming.
Making that prediction, and if Charles Payne is watching, put your money in UHF. I will say this: the big picture is.
Did you hear what the producer just
Yeah,
said?
he says, do you realize you are on TV right now?
I know.
So let's get back to the news.
But I will say, back to the news. Do you know what Joe Biden's doing now by going to Baltimore? Exactly what we said 3 weeks ago. Act like you care. Well, there's something about the American people.
We need to unify. We need to unify. Our party needs to unify.
Yeah, his party needs to unify. What about the country? That was the goal.
We just passed infrastructure in a bipartisan manner. 13 plus 19 senators and House members of the Republican Party voted for the infrastructure package. That's bipartisan. It's not like just one rogue senator. Oh, yeah, Olympia Snow voted for it, so it's bipartisan. No. Many. In fact, it was only made possible in the House because Republican House people's, Congress children, we'll call them. Actually, these are the Congress grown-ups, voted for it. So it was a bipartisan infrastructure bill. Hasn't been signed yet, and I don't know why, and they better make a big deal out of it. Like, I would do it in prime time because the American people have absolutely no concept of what's going on in Washington right now. They think that New York is on fire, Portland has already burned down, and Biden's responsible for it all, even though the rioting happened last year under Trump.
But I'm just saying, you go to the ports. I said from day one, as soon as Donald Trump
No one goes to the ports.
heard there was a supply chain, he would have been on the phone with the 74 barge captains to say, why are you still out there? What's it going to take to get...
Well, there's no room for them at the ports. The ports are busier than ever because the economy is chugging along at a fantastic rate. They're the choke points, okay? And how do you fix that choke point? Infrastructure.
to port? Here's a bullhorn. He would have fired somebody and hired somebody in the meantime.
Wouldn't have done anything. Would not have passed an infrastructure bill because he had 4 years and a friendly Congress for 2 of those years in order to pass some kind of infrastructure. Never even wrote a bill.
Totally different approach to doing it. 3 weeks later, Joe Biden...
Oh, yeah, that's true, actually. At Random is correct. Biden's waiting for Congress people to be back in D.C. for signing. He said that one of his addresses. She is correct. So, yeah, Biden's waiting so that the people... And he's going to invite Republicans. We'll see if any Republicans actually show up for the signing of the bill. Because that's always a big deal. And maybe he'll even hold the bill up. He should do this. He should hold the bill up and do that whole showing the cameras like Trump did and have a good laugh with it. Yeah, UHF is what used to get 2 through 13 on your regular channels, VHF. And then above that was UHF, channels 14 through 60 or whatever it was. And they had iffy broadcasts. A lot of people had these weird round antennas on the back of their televisions as well. But if you had a big antenna on the roof, God bless you. They don't work anymore because we took all the VHF channels and turned them to emergency broadcast channels.
...is going to go to the port and pretend a problem in a jean shirt and a hat.
Well, what do they always say? Are you better off today than you were yesterday?
Yes. Compare this year to last November? Hell yes. I got a vaccine. I got an error from YouTube. Okay, we're crashing again, guys. So my apologies. You're going to experience some buffering.
We're worse off today than we were yesterday, or
Literally
we were a few months
yesterday.
ago. Exactly. The prices are going up.
If Joe
Wages are going up. Anybody with children is receiving at least $250 a month to offset the price increases, which is far more than they're paying increased in gas. That's not English, but you guys know what I mean. UHF is a Weird Al movie. That is correct. Judges? There are no judges at this location.
Biden came,
I should change my forwarding app. I wonder if they're at the old studios. Just what, like the new people are there and everything they say, the judges are like, ding.
he'd get on Air Force One and he'd go to the port of Los Angeles. This is the...
Oh, that would fix everything. Just having Trump go there and tell everybody about the wires hidden in the wall. Yeah, if you remember Wayne's World from Saturday Night Live, that would have been broadcast on a UHF channel. Todd's correct.
Port of Baltimore.
Right.
This is not one of the
In his
big ones.
backyard.
Baby
Yeah.
steps. Baby steps. We got him reach to the water.
As we have heard from shippers, one of the problems is the unions out in Los Angeles and Long Beach. And because, you know what, as we had Daryl Ice on about 10 days ago, he said, you know what, as soon as the president said, okay, everybody's going to work 24/7, the longshoremen said, you know what, we're going to take our time. And in fact, fewer ships are being unloaded.
Right. I always think of longshoremen.
I would have to look into that. But yeah, there were obviously safety concerns. You can't just say like, okay, everybody, you're working more hours, especially with longshoremen. The people running those cranes, carrying those container ships, if they make mistakes, people die. So, yeah, obviously it's a big issue.
Irrelevant.
That being said, if you had the container ships being able to be unloaded in a timely manner and you didn't have truck drivers standing around for hours for all of this to happen, if you streamlined the whole process, there wouldn't be a problem. But then we still wouldn't have enough places to put the stuff once it was driven to where it needed to be. And that's a warehouse shortage that has been brewing for a couple of years, and Trump did nothing to fix it. Never went anywhere and stood there and he got on a bullhorn. By the way, when was he on a bullhorn? He did, by the way, throw out some paper towels, so he's the great fixer.
And when he was there with a bad
Best
hand, and
movie.
guy, yeah,
Best movie
a little
ever.
depressing because it was the depression.
Oh, but it ended up such a great story.
Right. Don't give it away.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even know what they're talking about. I missed that
You
part.
know, it was 20 years ago.
6:10 here on the East Coast.
Coming up, new revelations from Durham's investigation into the origins of the Russia probe. You want to pay attention to this. Find out.
We want to pay attention to the oranges of the Russian probe. Let's see if anybody interesting was on today. It's more them. They're talking. Did they go to a diner? Is there a diner somewhere that we... What's this? This is a wedding of something or other. What's this wedding about? No? No wedding? Let's see.
When are you going to get it just fed up with this and make a change?
Oh, okay. So there was a wedding in California that Pelosi attended. Okay. Is anybody making actual news today? Is that Tim Scott? That's Tim Scott. He's going to say people this, that, the other thing. Hold on. We'll see if there's anybody who we got here. Who are these people? I don't know who these people are. School board mums. Ignore us. Oh, okay. School board mums. Here we go. Oh, and... Wait, this is an ad for MyPillow. Okay. Oh, so Fox is now airing MyPillow ads again. There you go. Well, that lasted a minute.
Parents played a crucial role,
Yeah.
and it probably won't be the last. In an op-ed in the Washington Post, our next guests detail what school board moms really want and why candidates ignore us at their peril. The co-founders of Moms for Liberty, Tiffany Justice and Tina Deskovich, join us right now, live from Orlando. Ladies, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Tiffany, what was the message last week with the Youngkin win?
Parents are paying attention to elections and getting involved, and this is just the beginning of parents' voices being heard in their children's education in our country.
Absolutely. And Tina, you guys write in your op-ed, the three groups that define education today, teachers' unions, school boards, often handpicked by the unions, and big business, and none of them put students' interests first. And that's where the parents
Hard to handpick people who get voted on.
come in, right?
Absolutely. Parents are ready to reclaim their parental rights, especially at the level of education. We're seeing that across America.
Well, Tiffany, what exactly got this started? Was it COVID where so many
It was a Republican grassroots AstroTurf campaign.
parents were looking over the shoulders of their kids saying, hey, this just isn't right? And it's
Hey, they're not teaching anyone CRT. We should be outraged by it.
not just about masks, and it's not just about CRT. It's about transportation. It's about a lot of things
There is no CRT.
that impact our kids, and we feel like the school board isn't paying attention.
Well, as former school board members, Tina and I both served on Florida school boards from 2016
Oh, Florida school boards. That is surprising because I did not realize Florida actually had school boards.
to 2020. We saw behind the education curtain, and I think what COVID did was really let all of America see behind the education curtain, and what
Yeah.
parents saw, they were not happy about.
Absolutely. Tina, you say we continue to hold our elected officials accountable, and if they ignore our input, we will vote them out. And that's actually kind of what we saw.
Right, but they're handpicked, remember? So you can't vote them out. They're handpicked. The unions handpicked them and somehow got them voted in. But you're going to vote them out even though the unions handpicked and placed them. Got it.
Saw last night in Loudoun County. We're going to show some video of that in about 15 minutes. But you've started with right now you've got 60,000.
This is not an interview. This is just Steve Ducey reading things off a piece of paper and them agreeing with it.
Members extraordinarily.
There are questions to be asked here.
You've got in 33 states and 150 chapters, but you want to make this bigger, don't you?
Again, statement, confirm my statement. Those are not questions. How about a why? How about what the hell?
Oh, absolutely. Our goal is to have a chapter, a Moms for Liberty chapter in every county in the country. So it'd be over 3,000 chapters, and long-term to have a Moms for Liberty member in their Moms for Liberty shirt at every school board meeting from now till the end of time, keeping an eye and watching over those school districts.
And Tiffany, this is different than belonging to the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association. This is just me.
Oh, hold on. We got Loudoun County stuff coming up here, so let's see if we can find that. Jumping. What's this guy? Are they interviewing LongIslandFlags.com? Whatever. Hold on. We're jumping around in here. And oh, here we go. There's the parents, school board, recall petition. Let's watch about the Loudoun County. By the way, Loudoun County School. The reason we see Loudoun County in the news so much is because a bunch of money was pumped in there by a Republican operative group that saw that as a way to focus. A, it's very near Washington D.C. B, you have almost a 50-50 split, so you got a lot of Trumpers in that area. It's a purple district. And C, you had your Virginia election come up, which because it's always on the off years. You have a presidential election, and then you have the governor's elections in Jersey, Virginia, various elections throughout the country in these weird off years. They saw that as a target. And this grassroots campaign has a whole bunch of people holding professionally made signs. Someone pays for that. It's a Depop group. It's astroturfing. Hi, Tracy. Let's see if it'll play.
School board meeting, and it erupted into shouting. Listen to this.
It was loud in Loudoun.
I have the privilege of telling you that we are finished collecting signatures for your removal petitions. I used to think that there was no point in speaking at these meetings because you never seemed to listen anyway. But I had it all wrong. It wasn't you who needed to hear our voices. It was all those parents.
There's a ton of echo in there, and I'm having trouble hearing it on headphones. Hopefully, you guys can hear that. Our friend LP was at a North Carolina school board meeting last night in support of teachers, and it went sideways. Good for her, and I want to see.
Grandparents and neighbors listening at home, horrified at your actions and your inactions.
You have lost the trust of this county, all of you, especially you, Ziegler, and you've been the laughingstock of the school boards.
Oh wait, she put it in the DMs. I will look that up, guys, because I want to see. Let's see. We'll listen more to this guy.
For the removal of Chairwoman Sheridan. And it's not the old petition. This is a new petition, drafted about 2.5 weeks ago. And we completed this in 13 days. I said we'd see you in court. As of 3:30 today, we are now in court. Thank you.
Okay, that was not as loud as I thought it was going to be in reading the depictions of it, and we apologize for the sound. But what was happening was the parents confronted the members of the school board. Fight for Schools had filed 2,000 signatures on a petition to recall the chairman of the school board. And so that's what they were doing. But they also have gotten together enough signatures, apparently, to have recalls on the other members of the school board who were part of that Facebook group, supposedly, that launched a campaign against parents who opposed CRT and were conservative. And so they were all there saying...
There's no CRT being taught in Virginia schools. It's not a thing. Oh, and then they say, well, there is no CRT. Oh, yeah, but what about equity? Okay, what about equity? You got a problem with equity, start coming out against equity. Marcy sent me a link. Good, let's see. The white nationalists showed up at the school board meeting. Is there video? Yes, there's video. Let's watch this. It's coming. Hold on. Oh, the Proud Boys came to the meeting. Oh boy, I hope that A, Libby's okay, and B, she picked out the handsomest one.
Members of a white nationalist group show up at a school board meeting. Members of the Proud Boys stood watch at the meeting of the new...
They're not stood watch. They're not wearing masks because of COVID. They're wearing masks to try and hide their identity, but if you knew either of these two guys, you would recognize them immediately.
Hanover County Board of Education didn't speak, but they did applaud others who did.
They stood there menacingly.
WECT's Kendall McGee attended that meeting tonight.
What a great name, Kendall McGee. Songs have been written about Kendall McGee.
Saw and heard what happened. So, Kendall, the board really didn't make any formal decision tonight on masks, though, did they?
John, the board pushed back its vote on masks until after the new Hanover County Health Department meets to talk about whether or not to lift the county's public mask mandate. That board meets this Friday. This meeting had a smaller crowd and few disruptions, but
wait, is LP in this anywhere? Did we get to see her? Is that her? Is that her? Is that her?
still had some high emotions. At one point, the woman you see
She's not wearing a mask properly.
here sitting in the back was escorted out by deputies for yelling at board chair Stephanie Adams during public comment. Also, members of the Proud Boys were there. The group is a far-right, neo-fascist organization that's tied to political violence. None of the members of the Cape Fear Proud Boys spoke at the board during the meeting, but they gave several people speaking against the mask mandate standing ovations. We've never seen white nationalists.
So those guys are outside right now. They do not have to be wearing masks, and they're choosing to wear their masks. But they're inside applauding about the mask mandates. I wanted to check one more thing. So here's the great thing. So you guys remember there was a, let's see, hold on. Yeah, so there was I'll show you guys this in a check-in here. A check-in? I don't even know. I missed her. Is she in here? I want to see. We'll go back. Or no, we won't. But anyway.
This group so obviously represent.
Oh, she's got a red shirt. She's by red shirt. She's by red shirt. Let's go back and look at red shirt.
Public mask mandate. That board.
This is our friend Lindsay, LP. Welcome aboard, everybody. If you just found this broadcast, we are trying to broadcast. We're down to 20% drop rate. So good. I think we're actually streaming at this point. My name is Kevin Williams. I'm your KevinlyFather. And this is a morning Covfefe. This is just a reaction video to stuff going on in the news. We welcome your chat. They're really the most interesting part of the show. We just take a look at the news. One of our friends, friend of the show, LP, also known as Lindsay, she was at a school board meeting last night in North Carolina. We're trying to find her in this video, and we're trying to see what is going on here because the Proud Boys showed up for the school board meeting. You know, because Proud Boys. She's right at the end by the red shirt guy. Okay.
Meets this Friday. This meeting had.
Okay, so I see red shirts, but it's too blurry.
A smaller crowd and few disruptions.
Red shirt guy. There's a red shirt guy. Is that Lindsay? I don't know. Let's move forward.
But still had some high emotions. At one point, the woman you see here sitting in the back was escorted out by deputies.
She's not sitting. She's walking.
For yelling at board chair Stephanie Adams during public comment.
Okay, red shirt guy. This is definitely a red shirt guy. Oh, that was Lindsay standing back there?
But still had some high emotions.
Oh, so we saw Lindsay. Okay, hold on.
County's public mask mandate. That board meets this Friday. This meeting had a smaller crowd and few disruptions, but still had some.
Oh, we just saw her. Come on, go back.
Crowd and few disruptions, but.
So there she is. There's Lindsay. Yay! We can do this. Boom! There she is. There she is. Miss. I don't know that song. Okay, moving on. So, congratulations, Lindsay, on your newfound fame.
But still had some high emotions. At one point, the woman you see here sitting in the back was escorted out by deputies for yelling at board chair Stephanie Adams during public comment. Also, members of the Proud Boys were there. The group is a far-right, neo-fascist organization that...
Both of these peoples here are wearing underneath their noses. This is not how you wear a mask, people. We're 2 years into this thing. You should know this by now.
It's tied to political violence. None of the members of the Cape Fear Proud Boys spoke at the board.
And one of them, I think that's an F on her mask right there. Oh, and she's cheering with the Proud Boys too, so we know right away these are just mask holes. The Proud Boys are wearing masks properly. All those other gators and they're pretty much useless. But these people cannot figure out how to wear a mask.
But they gave several people speaking against the mask mandate standing ovations. We've never seen white nationalist groups so obviously represented at a school board meeting before. And this is what school board members had to say about their presence.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I really have no comment. Everybody's entitled to show up. No violence, no outbursts. I mean, everybody's entitled to be here and
those are comments.
To have their voices heard. I don't have to agree with any of them, but they're entitled to, you know, their First Amendment protections, and that's what they decided to exercise here tonight.
Now, as far as the next step for the school district's mask mandate, the board vote will happen at a special meeting on Monday. Board members have also requested a briefing from the health department to present current countywide COVID-19 data.
All right, Kendall, did you talk to any members of the Proud Boy organization that showed up?
John, they said they had been to school board meetings in the past, but never wore their colors before. And they said they wanted to be there for the mask discussion.
All right, Kendall McGee tonight. Interesting evening at the new.
So the segue from that is that a while ago in Pennsylvania, there was a high school hockey game, and we have that footage. The high school, one of the high school, they were playing a team called Mars High School. There was an arena full of people, and one of the teams was chanting at the other team, who happened to have a female goaltender. They were chanting, "She's a whore," and "Suck our dicks." This is the audience chanting at the female goalie. She was apparently quite upset by this, as rightfully she should be. Give me a second, and I'll... this is disturbing footage. Whoa, I'm sorry. That's super loud. Give me a second here. I'm just going to... it's hard to understand anyway, but here. So, "She's a whore," says somebody. Yeah, they're chanting, "She's a whore." And not even a good chant. And now they're saying apparently "suck our dicks." I can't, they could be saying "jingleplex." I don't know. Anyway, speaking of black and gold, the colors of the Proud Boys, those are also the official colors of the city of Pittsburgh. Black and gold like that you see here. So, Mars High School being located in Pennsylvania, what happened was that the Pittsburgh Penguins decided to invite the entire high school team from Mars, including the goaltender who was yelled at and accused of being a whore, to their game on Saturday night. And then on the big screen said, "Hey, welcome everyone from Mars High School." So Pittsburgh Penguins doing a very, very nice thing. I don't know that you can make up for that. I don't know what happened in terms of the other team's audience being suspended and whatnot. Likely they won't be able to come to games anymore, blah, blah, blah. Should be suspended from school for a little while, but then again, suspending someone from high school isn't really a punishment. Let's get back to watch the board we were watching there. Get rid of this page. Here we go.
Hey, you didn't listen to us, and now we're following the rules, and we are going to recall all of you.
Right. I thought it was also...
Yeah, go ahead. That's your right. You can't threaten people. You can't intimidate people with physical violence. You can't do that. But you're certainly more than welcome to show up and vote. That's absolutely fine.
So interesting to hear.
She's got an email there, and I don't know why she's holding it up, but there you have it.
The sincerity in which they say this wasn't about...
I bet you that's real fur.
About an election. That's what Ian Pryor said at the end. You guys think this was about getting someone elected. No, it was about removing you guys.
Getting someone erected? Gross. Is that why they're proud?
School board members, because of the curriculum and the way they were attacked. I think they just poked the wrong bear, so to speak. I also thought it was interesting.
Mama bear.
Yeah.
Papa bear.
I also thought it was interesting that Kamala Harris once again delivered her pre-recorded remarks to a virtual summit on the Democracy Alliance. That alliance is a network of liberal mega donors sponsored by George Soros that talked about the need for critical race theory. Totally opposite. You know, the critical race theory that no one says exists?
They're saying there's a new party, the party of...
The critical race theory that no one says exists. No. All of you people say that it exists. And critical race theory, CRT, does exist. It's just not being taught in Loudoun County schools. Yeah, like you wouldn't teach that to elementary school kids anyway. They wouldn't understand.
Parents, because it's not just Republicans in this party. No. We saw a lot of independents and a lot of Democrats vote for Youngkin in Virginia. And the question is, will we see that in a year from now?
No, a lot of Democrats didn't vote for him. It was independents. And it's mostly the uneducated, ironically, who care so much about the schools.
with the midterms. One of the parents said, so I'm not going to encourage you. I think this was Ian Pryor that we heard in that soundbite, but it's hard to hear. So I'm not going to encourage any of you to resign, because when you are recalled and removed from office, it will be much more satisfying to see you in court. You interviewed two moms who are making this a national push.
Absolutely. So far, they've got, I think, chapters in 33 states. They've got 60,000 members. The group is called Moms for Liberty. Tiffany Justice and Tina Discovich
Moms for Education would be a better idea, but okay.
are...
Oh, wait, are they big fans of Libby? Our Libby? Is that Our Liberty they're referring? I'm all for. I'll join that group. Can I get a t-shirt? Morning, Shelley.
Located down in Orlando, and they were on the program and talking a little bit about, you know, the Glenn Youngkin win really was a win for parents, because parents' voices are finally being heard. Watch.
Tina and I both served on.
All right, we saw that. Let's see what else happened this morning on Fox and Friends. Joe Concha is just unconscionable. He just gets so many factual errors wrong. Every time I watch him, he just says something that has nothing to do with reality. Completely distorts the past on a regular basis. Let's just take a look at him and see what he has to say here.
Fox News contributor and Hill opinion columnist Joe Concha. Joe, does she look good to you?
Oh, I think Lindsey Graham probably will say it better than I ever could here, Brian, on this nominee. Quote, while I have been deferential to all presidents when it comes to picking their team, I've also pushed back on unqualified nominees and hacks, unquote. And if looking up the word hack in the dictionary, Gigi Sohn's photo should be right next to it. She has called into hearings into Fox.
So clever.
Fox News. She wants to pull the broadcast license of this network. Why? For having the audacity of having some viewpoints that criticize the party that she serves at the pleasure of, the Democratic Party. She's also called...
Wow, he didn't call it the Democrat Party. Hold on. This is for you, Joey. Good work. I take back everything I've ever said about this man, which was what it was about 20 seconds ago. What you heard me say is all that I've ever said about Joe Concha. Because I watch him, and he said things like, what did he say the last time I watched him? He was on a few days ago, Friday, I think, on maybe Martha's show in the middle of the day, and he said something about the dossier was released so that Hillary Clinton would win. But here's the problem. The dossier wasn't released until after the election. Well after the election. But yeah.
I hope you're sitting down.
I don't even remember if that's what he said. He just says item after item that has no basis in reality. It sounds like it might, but he gets confused easily. That being said, he did say whatever he just said. Now I've already forgotten. I've already dismissed him from my mind.
For this, it looks like you are. Anti-conservative bias by social media platforms, including Facebook and Twitter, quote, a bunch of BS, unquote. I'm pretty sure that we've unpacked that and proven that to be false. So make no mistake, Gigi's...
we have not. What we see on this station, specifically you, is a bunch of BS. Including that statement about the BS being debunked.
Turn the FCC into the CCP. She cannot be confirmed because the FCC, Brian, as you know, cannot be weaponized to squash free speech and viewpoints the Biden administration disagrees with.
So this is unbelievable. Either they were unaware of her background and how she's going to have trouble passing, or they thought they could do it on a pure party line way. Gigi Sohn said this October 28, 2020, to your point. For all my concerns about Facebook, I believe that Fox News has had the most negative impact on our democracy. It's state-sponsored propaganda with few, if any, opposing views. Where's the hearing about that? Wow, I'm sure she's going to be fair and balanced if she ever gets the job. I'm really concerned, though.
As you should.
Okay, well, all right.
This hearing is tentatively set for next week. And what's
good luck making pumpernickel bread, Stephanie.
Everybody concentrating on, will Joe Biden get his Build Back Better human infrastructure bill passed? So a lot of the news coverage will be focused on that while these hearings are going on kind of quietly in the background. And look, it's up to moderate Democrats to ensure that this does not happen.
Oh, he called it the Democratic Party. That's why I'm proud of him today.
That hearing for next week, it's a very simple strategy for Republicans. Read back her own words. It's right on Twitter. It's her words. It's her statements. And if you do that, and there's enough attention around this.
Okay, more importantly, I just saw this on the Twitter. Going to sleep during the golden hour could save your life. So let's see what that's all about. Okay, well, how do I even get it? Check this out. Going to sleep during the golden hour could save your life. Well, what does that mean? I need to know this immediately. A new study. Okay, so you're supposed to go to sleep during the golden hour. It's between 10 and 11 p.m. Great, I've been doing that. And then they changed the clock. America is trying to kill you, people. That's scientific evidence right there. There's no more gold. Now the golden hour is like 8:37 or so. So ridiculous. So that's the biggest problem in my life, is that the clock is like an hour off. I had to change it in my car yesterday.
I would think that this nomination will be beaten back, but again, it's up to perhaps other news organizations.
They should call that beaten back better. Come on, Joe, get on your ball.
Besides this one to say, hey, wait a minute, this is a bridge even.
Oh yeah, so now Marcy on the Hawaiian Islands and all the cars that have been shipped to the Hawaiian Islands, they're now 2 hours behind instead of 3. Like, I was just in Hawaii 3 weeks ago, twice. I flew to Hawaii twice in the same week, and I don't even remember what the time change. I don't know. Everything is 3 hours in my head.
Pyongyang would.
Yeah, dogs don't get the whole daylight savings at all.
Go over as far as appointing somebody who's saying shut down that network because they support or maybe at least feature views of a certain ideology. Brian.
It's unbelievable. It's not even subtle. It's not reading between the lines. It's right there, and it's last year. Incredible, Joe. Yeah. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
By the way,
Is that it?
Are you going to be eating your leftovers from last year? Because I read in this book thoroughly. There's no chapter on that. Really? I'm not sure that's safe.
Well, Steve Ducey has. Saskatchewan doesn't do the time change either. I didn't even know that. I'm the worst Canadian.
What is that? What is Steve paying?
Wait, there are people. Oh, there's Steve in the background. Can people in Saskatchewan tell the time though? Does it really make a difference?
You for that. There you go. There's going to be a new version coming out next year. All right, Venmo. All right, there you go.
We're back on real time, right? Daylight saving is during the summer. This is now actual real time, as decided by humanity, who really can't affect time one way or the other.
Crypto. All right, Joe.
Thank you.
All right, now I'm way over. Thanks. I was so good until Joe whipped out Steve's book. Meanwhile, just ahead, President Biden is hitting the road to tout his $1 trillion infrastructure deal to Baltimore business owners.
Fantastic. Oh, the Baltimore business owners have a message for infrastructure? Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let's listen. Biden to tour Baltimore port amid supply crisis. And you've got 2 Baltimore business owners here, and they're gonna give Biden the old what for. We've been broadcasting for over an hour already this morning. I'm thrilled that the broadcast works. I haven't been able to broadcast for, almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it's been. It's been ridiculous. And my apologies for that, folks. I have wanted to broadcast. I just haven't been technically able to. And today, we might have just figured out how to make it work at the temporary studios. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about Paul Gosar because it's ridiculous.
Today, John's and the Marine Corps.
That's right, and we're going to go out and cut the cake for the Marine Corps here in about 5 minutes. Carly, thank you very much. Meanwhile, President Biden is set to visit the port of Baltimore later today, hoping to convince America that he can fix the supply chain crisis while pushing his Build Back Better agenda. So what do
and by the way, he will, but he doesn't even have to. The supply crisis will work itself out because that's how the economy works: supply and demand. There is a heavy demand, higher demand than there's ever been in the American economy. So supply will rush to meet that demand. That's how capitalism works. It's not complicated. So, yeah, he'll get credit for that, and fantastic. But for some reason, we'll be talking about caravans.
Local Baltimore business owners want to hear from the president. Patrick Russell is the owner of Cooper's Tavern and Slanche Irish Pub and Restaurant. He joins us right now from Baltimore, along with Claudia Tolles, who recently was forced to close her toy store. She's now running for Baltimore City Council. Good morning.
They both look so happy. I wonder why she was forced to close her toy store.
To both of you.
Was it a mask mandate problem, or I don't know? This is in Baltimore, by the way.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Claudia, you were, our heart breaks for you. After 20 years in business, you just closed your business about 60 days ago. It was a toy store that specialized in educational toys. What happened?
My question is, how the hell did you stay in business until just 60 days ago? Toy stores have been dropping for years. F.A. Schwartz closed down. Many of its stores. I think they still exist. Toys R Us is gone. The internet has killed toy stores. How were you in business, young lady?
Well, look, I think like many small retailers,
I mean, I'm just impressed that she was able to sustain for that long.
we experienced a lot of hardships during COVID.
Thomas, yeah, that's true. That should be the lead story, is Roger Stone's freezing his sperm for future warriors. He's not making that up. That's true.
COVID that were, exacerbated the trends that were coming our way anyway, dealing with bigger retailers. But when we were forced to close because of mandates that were well unknown to everyone, small retailers were put.
So no, she chose to. She chose to ignore the mandates, and that's why she was forced to close. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But just from that sentence, that's what she's telling us. So she could have stayed open. There are many other reasons pressing her to close. She stayed around for a long time, and good for her. But it's the mask mandates, or whatever frickin' mandate she's talking about. So public health policy forced her to close. It's like a buffet saying, they're making us wash our hands. We can't do business like this. Thanks,
in a
Biden.
Position where we had to make some choices, and ordering product has become a big problem with these supply chain issues. Being able to keep people employed, they don't want to necessarily be in these industries of public facing because, of course, it creates a lot of controversy.
Right. So get them vaccinated and have people wear masks.
In terms of being able to enforce things that.
And pay them more. And if you can't afford to pay them more, unfortunately, capitalism has wiped out your business. That's the way that it works. And I'm sorry. And it sucks. And I've owned small businesses myself. And it's terrible. I get it.
As business owners, we just wanted to sell toys, right? And look, the issue that we ran into is labor shortage, supply chain issues, and the trends of people going online.
Absolutely.
Right. That's the biggie right there. Which is why I'm shocked you were able to last this long. It sucks. But you should have jumped online like 20 years ago.
Patrick, you're...
Hold on a second here. Let's just go back. I want to see the name of her toy store. Amuse Toys, I think. Amuse Baltimore. Let's find out. Let's see if there's any other research on this. Amuse Toys Baltimore. Okay, Amuse Toys, award-winning toy store. Amuse Toys. Okay, here we go. Shop online. By ages 6 through 9. Okay, so they do sell online. Let's see. Quick buy. It's sold out. Quick buy. Try me. This is a Bubble Blast Rocket. And that is sold out as well. Oh, I mean, the store is closed. So let's see home. Are there any updates as to that they're closed? Location. Store location. They have one location right in the port, by the way, right along the river at Fells Point. There's no indication on here that they're closed. Hold on. Let's do a further search. So they never updated or turned off their website. Okay, Baltimore Sun. This is a reputable news source. Okay, 20 years. Makes bid for. So she's going to run for city council. Hold on, I got to enable my ads. Give me a second here. Always. And here we go. 2 decades, closing its doors. The coronavirus pandemic has been a challenge for the store, making finances and daily operations difficult. We're making an unprecedented labor shortage, at least in my lifetime, and I've been a retailer for half of my life. Basically, I've never experienced this. She said broken supply chain, hurdle for her business. Okay. She's frustrated by how little support she felt from the Baltimore City government. That's not Joe Biden. Okay. Couldn't find a buyer. And I'm trying to see if there's any other information here we can glean. Okay, and all right, so there's nothing in there about mandates. So nothing in the Baltimore Sun article from September 24th that she was going out of business because of mandates. But now it's all about mandates.
And ordering product has become a big problem with these supply chain issues. Being
Yep.
able to keep people employed, they don't want to necessarily be in
we saw
these
that part.
industries.
And I shut another one down recently. We need this.
Across from the table, sitting across the table from you right now, Patrick, what would you tell him about what people in your boat need?
I have never been to Baltimore. If I went to Baltimore, I would not go and sit inside a restaurant. I've been vaccinated. I'm about to get boosted. I still would not go sit in a restaurant. We are still in a coronavirus pandemic, largely a pandemic of the unvaccinated, because they refuse to get vaccinated. That's the problem. Where are the small business owners saying, hey, my restaurant business cannot recover until you assholes get vaccinated?
Firstly, thanks for having me on. The first thing I'd say is, look, we need this right.
Likeable guy right off the bat, right? I like him. You guys probably like him.
Restaurant revitalization.
He owns a pub. He owns an Irish pub. He's got a Guinness sign on the wall. What's not to like about this guy?
Grant put back in.
Shelley says the Great Recession smothered my business. Did not get to complain on TV. True point.
Into place. Every restaurant that got it is at an unfair advantage to the folks that didn't. I'm one of the restaurants that didn't.
Why did you not get it? He said that backwards, but
that's what you had to do.
There's no unfair advantage for the people that got the money.
You had to reopen, but then you had to jack up prices. If Joe Biden was sitting across from the table, from you right now, Patrick, what would you tell him about what people?
And his name is Patrick.
People in your boat need.
Firstly, thanks for having me on. The first thing I'd say is, look, we need this restaurant revitalization grant put back into place. Every restaurant that got it is at an unfair advantage to the folks that didn't. I'm one of the restaurants that didn't.
Yeah, there's all kinds of money for you out there, and the Republicans keep voting against it, so I'm sure you're going to say that.
I have several restaurants. I closed one of them down during the pandemic, and I shut another one down recently as well.
That's amazing that he kept most of his restaurants open during the pandemic. Good for him.
I had 250 employees, and now I have less than 100.
That's a huge issue. And the main issue being is a whole bunch of employees figured out, hey, our job sucks, and we don't get paid enough. Let's find out what the minimum wage is in Baltimore. Minimum wage Baltimore servers. So minimum wage employee. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Or as you Americans say, I'm sorry. Do you want to know what the problem is? Do you want to know why you're down to 100 employees from 300, Patrick? Minimum wage in Baltimore, the state of Maryland, employers must pay at least $3.63 an hour. That's the problem. I'm going to cowbow myself. $3.63 an hour. Oh, it's made up with tips. Not if there's no customers. Maryland minimum wage and overtime law. I'm not making this up. That might be old information. Let's see. Minimum wage rate. Okay, here we go. So this is the... so that's old. Oh, wait. Tipped employees. No, this is true. This is, as of today, a tipped employee. That's people that serve in a restaurant. $3.63 an hour. Now, in order for that to qualify at that $3.63, tips have to make up at least the state minimum wage, which is, as of this point, employees with 14 or employees with 14 or fewer employees. I don't know what the rate above that is. It's not saying that. Okay, drive-in theaters, establishments engaged in canning of products. So there's exceptions to this. People who don't have to reach this minimum wage. What are we looking at? So somewhere between $11.60 and $11.75 an hour with tips. That's what you have to make. Which, living in a city, is not a livable wage. There's your problem, people.
I don't know what else to say other than that. We've lost a tremendous amount of revenue.
So the way that works is you have to pay your employees at least $3.63 an hour, as long as their wage includes their tip and it comes up to $11.60 an hour. So if they're making less in tip, then you have to make up that difference. So you might end up paying them $5 an hour if they're not making good tips. Why are they not making good tips? Well, because people aren't going to restaurants. I'm not going to restaurants. I did eat in a restaurant the other day. There was nobody else in there. And it was the most convenient thing to do. If other people had come in and sat down, I got my food in a to-go box, I would have gotten up and walked out. I stayed masked while I wasn't eating. And there are millions of people, literally millions of people, just like me, who don't go out to restaurants right now. Unless, for example, in Calgary, when I was visiting Calgary, you had to be vaccinated to go to the restaurant, and they checked your vaccine cards. And they checked it against my ID and made sure it was me. Is that 100% foolproof? No, of course not.
All this has to do with the pandemic, and I understand that, and we've got to go through.
So what happens is on payday, when the payroll is actually processed, and you have to declare your tips when you get them, and the tips are pooled. Every restaurant has its own little system. But basically, they look at the employee and say, well, you work 10 hours. Did you make $110.60? No, you did not. We will pay you to get to that level of the minimum wage, which is $11.60 or whatever it happens to be, based on the size of your restaurant. Oh, and every state has its own thing, and cities can have their own thing. It's a complicated process. If we just had a minimum wage across the board, it would make it so much easier. But what happens is that, oh, here we go. Here's a story from Stephanie. We went to a restaurant one time. The door says mask required. When we walked in, everybody at the hostess desk had a mask. And so we went in and sat down. None of the waiters or waitresses had masks on. So they promptly left. Good call.
But hiking gas prices and supply issues, the cost of goods, all those things contribute to me having to make difficult choices in keeping people hired and providing their benefits and trying to keep a manageable price tag on my product.
Yeah, and you know, Joe Biden has said he would not hike up anybody's taxes if they make more than $400,000. But
to be fair, this gentleman has 100 employees. I don't know where his minimum wage sits. Oh, it's $12.50. His minimum wage. I just saw the figure. 15 or more employees, you have to have a minimum wage of $12.50. Living in Baltimore. Hold on. Let's see what rent is in Baltimore. Average rent, Baltimore. Okay. Average rent in Baltimore is, for an average apartment of 823 square feet, your rent is $1,400. So let's take his minimum wage. Let's just do this. That's per month. So it's stupid. Anyway, basically you get it. It's tough.
When you fill up your gas tank and every gallon is $1.35 more than it was last year.
When no one was going anywhere. Yeah, go on.
Patrick, that is a
demand, supply and demand. Your job, Steve, should be telling people not to go anywhere, and that would lower the price of gas.
Tax on everybody.
It is, and go buy milk. I have 2 kids in college, and I help buy their food. Buy paper towels, milk, eggs, chicken, beef. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything has gone up, and that's a tax.
Sure.
Whether you look at it that way or not, it's a tax.
And Claudia,
well, it's not a tax. It doesn't go to the government, but okay.
Real quick, what would you say to
tariffs are a tax. Those go to the government. Raising the price of milk, not a tax.
Joe Biden.
Look, I'm hoping for practical solutions and more bipartisan efforts that actually
Joe Biden had nothing to do with her store closing. Nothing.
Get problem solved instead of...
Well, we just had an infrastructure deal that was bipartisan. You're welcome, shop owner.
Scoring political points. That's what small businesses need, and that's what the American people need. We want solutions-based politics, not this political point-scoring situation and extremes that we see.
I agree with her 100%.
On both ends.
Well, we do need some answers and we need some fixes because businesses like both of yours are suffering. Claudia and Patrick, thank you very much for joining us.
I don't want to pick on these people. I feel for them. I've had a small business that government drove out of business, specifically the Port of Seattle. Yeah, I mean, there are issues. I didn't blame President Biden for the problem. What do we got here? Oh, Charles Daniels is helping vets. Good for him, I guess. Looking for anybody else interesting, and then we'll wrap up the broadcast. We are down to a loss rate of about 13.3%, so it's gone from about 60% to 13.3%. We may have found the sweet spot for my current internet. Hopefully nobody's experiencing buffering right now. Let's see. Very little coverage on the subpoenas that have been issued. Hold on. Here's more school board meeting, I think.
Barely a week since...
Oh, we saw this already. So now we're getting into the repeats. I'm just seeing if they've got anybody interesting coming in here. No, so I got to get to unpacking. There's a lot of boxes. A lot of boxes that need to be done. There's the other boxes in the room. So we got... They're upside down, and they shouldn't be upside down. A printer needs to be attached. There's a lot of work for me to do today. Guys, thanks for joining me. I really enjoy getting back to it and doing a little broadcasting. So maybe later today. No, probably not. There are many boxes to be unpacked. I still haven't found 80% of my stuff, and I don't have a lot of stuff. So I got to get back to that. Guys, have a wonderful day. And we will see you later. Maybe not today, but definitely tomorrow. Gonna try, what is it, Thursday? Yeah. Thursday, things will happen as well. Maybe we'll do Spilling Covfefe. If I keep waking up early because of this goddamn daylight savings bitch, I will keep broadcasting this sort of nonsense because I need to know what I'm outraged by. If someone talks to the judges today, let them know the new address so they can come to the unnamed studios and help us out here. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. But most importantly, be good to me.